Hello and welcome to another episode of You Made That, the podcast about makers, making, and the things we make. Tonight, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Rebecca DeGroot, and that other guy, Mike. How's it going,
ugly
Rebecca?
one.
What have you been working on?
That Delauder, he's butt ugly. You need to teach him to walk backwards, shave his butt.
That guy's got a face for radio. How you doing,
Yes,
Rebecca?
he
Tell us
does.
what you've been working on.
Which one, the face for radio or the cute one?
You tell me.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay. Well, I've got a long list of things that I've been doing, and somehow the month is over. How did that happen? First of all, this is ridiculous. Like, it's already February tomorrow, so I'm just like, okay, how did this happen? And how do I make it not happen so fast again so that I can get more things done? Which, looking at the things that I've done this month, I don't know if it's possible to do more, but I'm going to try as I do. So, so far, since the last time we met, which was only 6 days ago now, I did another interactive remote demo. It was my pop boxes again, so I got to do some texturing with my super cool, awesome Saburrtooth burrs, which I'll talk about again in a couple minutes. I finished the second of the Ruth Niles newsletters that I've been working on, and so far, I think it's maybe partially due to the introduction of me being her kind of new newsletter partner, or it could just be that we started adding a couple new things, but so far it's got really, really good feedback on the first one. So the second one goes out tonight. I'm looking forward to it. We're doing featured artists in the newsletter, and there's a way that if you go to, I think it's to Ruth's website, you can actually apply to be one of her professional artists. You, I believe, have to be one of the people that uses some of her kits, but if you do, and if you have pictures of it, you could be a featured artist in one of her future newsletters, which I think is really cool. So we're trying to, we're trying to focus on not just wood, but I think I brought this up when I first started talking about being added onto her team, but the other of the 5 craft media. So this month we are focusing on one of the artists. I think her name is Robin Holt, and she is a glass artist. So she uses her glass art and puts them on the bottle stoppers and on some of the other pieces. Yeah, which is really cool because I used to do lamp working or like glass working with a torch and stringers and different beads and stuff, and I had so much fun with it, and I really want to get back into it, but it's just another one of those things that would take up time and take up a lot of space because fire, but I could do that in the driveway too.
Yeah.
So who knows?
I remember glass blowing is always fascinating. I remember as a kid, this is not really a tangent because it is about glass blowing, but we had a mall in Louisville called Bashford Manor Mall, and around Christmas time, they would always set up these kiosks in the mall. And there was a guy who would always set up, and he would literally blow these little glass figurines. And I would buy one every year as a gift for my mother. And I mean, it's amazing that they can take a hunk of glass and just do that with it. So that's all I wanted to say. It's just I'd love. It's not something I want to do, but it's something I love to watch.
Yes, it's so much fun, and as long as you cool the glass at a low enough speed or a slow enough speed, then it should be fine. Because like when I was doing it, I started taking lamp working classes with the torch and just making beads essentially when I was probably about 10 years old, because I had too much energy and a lot of creative, I guess, inspiration and not enough to focus it on any one thing. So I was just all over the place. So my parents stuck me in a glass bead making class, just me one-on-one with my teacher, Holly Benson, I want to say. Holly something.
That makes so much sense. Take a hyperactive kid and tell her to play with glass.
Yeah, exactly. Glass, fire,
it's like,
all the
here,
good
dear,
stuff.
run with these scissors.
And actually, because of that, we used to live on 40 wooded acres, and right on the connecting property was a junkyard. So like a huge junkyard which spanned several acres, and every once in a while we would go junk diving, I guess, in the junkyard, and we would just walk around, see if we could find any cool stuff that we liked. We were always the troublesome kids that every once in a while we went on hunts for things without any permission and found a lot of cool stuff, but nothing too valuable, I hope. But at one point we went in the junkyard and found this metal workbench, and I think it's a welding bench, which it's just going to be really hard for me to move back and forth in and out of my garage, but it was perfect for lamp working because I couldn't catch it on fire if any of the glass did anything crazy. I did catch my hair on fire a couple times, just the top. Just the top. I had these really cool glasses that made me look like a super nerd, because they were like the glasses where it would make the flame color disappear, so all you'd see is the bead behind it. And I still have them, and I still have my whole glass working setup, and I want to get back into it. But anyways, that was a tangent. But yes, so we're going to be doing more of the craft medium artists and focusing on that for our featured artists. And then I'm officially in the ARROWMONT catalog for this summer. I'm so excited. So I just got it, I think, over the weekend, and I flipped through the pages and I found me. I'm like, yay, there I am. So that's going to be fun. I'm teaching a full 5
that
day?
needs to be in the show notes. I've got to see that. So what do you mean you're in the catalog?
I'm in the catalog. So there's a little catalog that they send out each year for, I think, either the year or each section of the year, maybe half, and they show all the different teachers that are going to be coming to ARROWMONT, and I am one of the teachers. I think I'm in late June.
Okay, that was my next question. Awesome.
Yeah. So, if you're interested in signing up for a full week class with me where I get to show you how to make your wood turnings come to life, then sign on up. It's going to be really fun.
It's probably full already.
Are you going to have a segment on the proper way to burn the top of your hair?
Well, it'll probably come up.
Have you seen that there's a glass blowing show on Netflix?
Yeah, Blown Away.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Love that show.
They just came out with season 2.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I've been wanting to watch it, but I haven't really had a lot of time with everything else going on. And then I've been finishing some demo pieces. So a couple of the demos that I've been doing, I like to finish the piece and then send them off. If the demo piece is simple enough that it can be finished or nearly finished within the demo time frame, then I'll usually send it off to the people I'm demonstrating for, and they can put it in like a drawing or some type of raffle or something. So I'm working on the textured pop box that I was playing with for the demo for my club that I did on Thursday, I think, Tuesday or Thursday. And then I just finished up one of the walking mushrooms that I did a couple weeks ago for the Austin club. So I got those, at least I got the mushroom photographs, sent those pictures off today. I'm working on the pop box. I need to recarve it a bit. And then speaking of carving, I ordered some new Saburrtooth burrs for a future project, because I'm hoping that I'm going to be doing a new thing that's not typically my style, but just some textured wall pieces, which I think should be pretty cool. And then, so if you're interested in getting your own set of Saburrtooth burrs, they did just come up with some really cool ones that are like the eye cutters, but they'll cut a sphere. You just jam it in the wood and you hold it there for a second and it'll create this sphere texture. And I'm not sure what the name of it is, but if you want to find some, go to saburrtooth.com. And then if you want to buy some and save 10% off, you could enter YMT at checkout and save. And then I've been celebrating my birthday because it was my birthday on Wednesday and we had to wait until this weekend to celebrate, but Henry got me, I don't know if you guys have been on Instagram, but Henry got me some cookies to decorate, because I've been obsessed with these royal icing videos on Instagram typically, and I love them, and it's so satisfying watching them just ice these cookies. And I iced my own cookies and did my own interpretation of the shapes.
It was your birthday. Henry should have iced the cookies.
No! That would have ruined it. He would have taken all the fun. I wanted to ice them. And then, you're supposed to wait until they kind of solidify and then you eat them like the next day. So we've still got a couple. One in particular that we haven't eaten yet.
That's fun.
I should post that it's not safe for work on that one picture, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
Wow, you've been busy.
Busy as always.
Busy.
Oh, and I'm hoping that by the next week when we record, I'm hoping that I will have already gone down and met with the welding teacher to do some practice welding, because he said that once February comes around, I can go down and bother him.
Oh, that's
nice.
Cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Looking forward to this week. What about you guys?
Michael, why don't you go first this time? Usually I go first, so.
Well, the great basketball pen continues. I'm getting more orders for those. I had a guy contact me earlier this week. He's one of the coaches for that high school, Paoli High School, and they moved up senior night on him, and he was responsible for getting the gift for the one senior that they had. So he saw the picture of the pens on Facebook, and he's like, "Do you have any more of these? Because I'm in kind of a tight spot." So I threw one together real quick for him. Don't tell the other people, because I haven't made theirs yet.
Oh, no.
Well, I figured they wouldn't really matter or mind that much, since it was a gift for an existing senior or current senior. So
yeah,
I just made that assumption, though.
That's pretty cool.
Mm. So then I posted a picture of that one today, and apparently more orders are coming in. So
it's a good problem to have, Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. I have a question for you. You
Yes.
want to know what it is? You want to guess what it is?
I have no idea.
Did you order your sphere jig?
No.
Oh, Michael. I was counting on that. I was looking forward to it.
I know. I suck at goals. What can I say? I'm more of a goaltender.
I'm looking at your pins. They look really nice.
That's my dad joke for today, everybody. Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah. Hey, so you're using the water slides on these. You're just printing these off on your inkjet? I mean, I'm looking at them online right now. They look really nice.
Thank you.
And are you sure? Were they able to get you enough of the material to be able to make enough of them?
Oh, I've got everything cut for the current order, so I have 30 already done. Mm-hmm. And I probably have enough wood to make another between 30 to 60.
Okay, nice. So are your plans just to make what you have to make, or to go ahead and make a few extra up just in case? Because it sounds like these are kind of a popular item. I'm
probably going to go ahead and make possibly about 10 ahead, just so I have them on hand.
That's probably not a bad idea. You know, it's really cheap. What I've done before I made pins one time, and I didn't know whether to make them. Let's just say for Team A or Team B. Okay, I don't want to get into why or what it was. Mm-hmm. I made a ton of blanks, and I made one of each so that I could show them. And if you were for Team A, I would basically take a Team A blank out and press it into a kit and sell it to you. Okay, mm-hmm. So the blanks are cheap to make. They're 50 cents a tube. And you've already got the wood. And the water slides probably are cheap. You've already sunk that. Mm-hmm. I just had them made up and stored, and then I would just basically press them together when someone said, "Hey, I want Team A or I want Team B. Give me 2 minutes," and I put it together, and that's how I did it. So I was prepared, and it worked out really well. But I really don't want to talk about what it was.
Not a bad idea, though. That way you don't have the money sunk into a kit just sitting there.
Exactly. So that was just it, you know. The blanks are cheap. The tubes are cheap.
Yes, they are.
And you've got everything else is already a sunk cost. What's expensive for you is the darn kit. Those kits are awesome, and they're not cheap. I think they're about $15-18 a piece, aren't they?
For the ones I'm getting, they're about $10 when I buy them in the States. Okay. I had to go overseas for this order, though, because nobody in the States had enough to cover 30 kits.
I couldn't have covered 30, but I have about 4 or 5 of those kits. I probably could have got you out of a pinch. But,
so when you go overseas, you pay a little more. Well, you pay a lot more in shipping, but the per kit cost is so much lower that you actually end up saving money in the long run.
Yeah. Okay. Very good.
However, I for the source that I have overseas, I prefer the quality of the kits that the dealers here in the States get. Because I think they purchase from maybe Daycom.
Okay.
Or another source. What I'm getting is definitely a knockoff kit.
Right. See, and they actually have helped design that kit with whoever they purchased it from, and they exclusively license it to them. Mm-hmm. So you can't really get that exact kit anywhere else, which is nice. That's the nice thing about it. And I'm glad they don't sell it to multiple people. I'm glad that they do that with the vendors.
And Bob?
Yeah.
You've been putting out some videos here the last few days.
Yeah, and I got a few more coming out. I have the videos are all the What You Doing channel. Really, I think I had one video come out. I think it was before the last show, but I've been extremely busy. In the shop, I've turned a number of pins that are to the point of being ready to be pressed into kits. And I'm turning them for videos, right? I'm just trying to clear out some of the stuff that I have. I hope to get a little farther along and literally be able to press them into kits today so that I could start, thinking the video, it doesn't matter. I got enough footage. It's going to take a while to edit it anyway, so I've got time. But I wanted to get them off the bench so that they were off my to-do list. It just didn't happen. I had 2 pins that gave me a little bit of heartburn. So I had 5 I wanted to turn today. And I got 4 turned because 2 of them gave me a little heartburn, and I took the time to fix them, which will be in the video. Everybody likes to see the fixes, in case they have a similar problem. So next time I get out there, I'll work on the 5th pin. And I did I don't really do any teaching like Rebecca does, but I actually did a one-on-one class the other day. Good buddy of ours, Michael, Robert Dudensky. Robert. He contacted me, and he was asking about skews because he and I have talked back and forth quite a bit. He's a good friend of mine. And he asked me what skew I like the best, and he showed me 3 different ones, and I showed him the one I liked the best. So he actually literally went out and bought that skew and came back and said, "Hey, I bought the skew." And I was like, "Well, give me a call, and I'll show you how to use it." So he contacted me last night, and we did a little quick FaceTime video, and I showed him how he can do it any way he wants, but I showed him how I go about sharpening the skew, honing the skew, stropping it, and then how I go about using it on the lathe. And how this has been successful for me, and it's worked. Just to give him just to give him an idea of how to get started, and then he can take it in any direction that he wants. I'm sure he'll develop his own feel for the tool and his own technique. But so it was a lot of fun to do, and like I said, Robert's a good friend of mine, so it gave me something to do. And the cool thing I've been doing is over on my Patreon channel. The patrons are very special people. I mean, because they're the people who really, they believe in you so much that they're willing to financially help support your efforts. And you like to give back, right? You want to give back. So I did another all-day live hangout on Saturday, and it was so much fun. And this time around, I opened it up to my entire patron community. Normally, there's a certain tier that gets the monthly hangout. I didn't want to say free because you're literally paying for it, but you get a monthly hangout. But I went ahead and opened it up to all 3 tiers. And what I do is when I get into the shop in the morning, I fire up Zoom, and I just leave the computer on with a webcam there, and I follow myself around the shop. And during the day, people stop in. They hang out for an hour, half an hour, whatever they can. We chat. Sometimes I actually take a camera. I'll fire up another camera so that I can go to the lathe and demonstrate something, or maybe I'll show them what I'm working on. And it's just a lot. It's like somebody just stopping by your shop is really what it boils down to, except it's virtual. And it goes over really big. The patrons love it because if you say, "Hey, we're going to have our monthly hangout and it's from 5 to 6 on Thursday," well, not everybody's available 5 to 6. But on a Saturday, if you go from 8 to 6 or however long I was out there, people can find a half an hour where they can pop in and say hello, and it's just a lot of fun. It's literally like having somebody come into your shop, and I kept working the whole day, and we just basically, I showed them what I was doing, or a couple of them had questions, so I would go get a blank out of the box and put it on the lathe and just show them what I would do. I mean, right or wrong, it's just a lot of fun. It's super interactive, and I really enjoy it. And I think this is the second one we've done. First one I've opened up to everyone, but I'm going to continue to do them at least for the one tier, and periodically I think I'll open them up to the other tiers. And that's something that I've been thinking about too, is with Patreon. I have 3 tiers, right? And it's always tough when you first set it up to kind of know how you want to arrange that. I'm thinking about restructuring the tiers to where there are less of them, right? Instead of 3, I may just take it down to 2. That is a really tough thing to figure out, and but it's a lot of fun, and I don't know, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. It's great having people in your shop, you know.
I still need to get into Patreon.
You know, it's really nice. It's really nice because, you know, if you post a video out on YouTube and you got people who just are sourpusses, right? And they're just, you're doing it wrong. But the thing is, the people on Patreon, they really love what you do, and they are really invested in what you do. And, you know, and it's just an amazing experience. And that's why you want to give back to them. You're like, you know, you guys are really the people who got me to where I am, and now you're willing to help support me this way. I want to give back to you. It's just it's a great experience. I really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. It's got to be similar, maybe in a way, to like the difference between a public high school and a college class and teaching one or the other, because some of the people are there because they either have to be there or just because they were bored and are strolling through, and the others are there because they're paying for it.
Yeah, and they're serious.
Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, Patreon, teaching college classes, hopes and dreams.
It's a lot of fun, and I've got some great patrons. I mean, they're just wonderful people, and I love hanging out with them. You know, I mean, I love hanging out with them.
Mm-hmm. That sounds awesome.
But that's pretty much it for me.
So I was watching the video that you put together on your pop box, and and I noticed the Carter and Son SKU that you have. Looks like the cutting edge has a slight curve to it.
It has a slight curve to it, yeah.
Did it come like that, or did you put that curve in?
No, that is from the factory.
Okay.
It's really kind of nice too, because if you've ever used a SKU, what I'll do is when you're using it, you'll use the heel of the SKU to true up, right? And then you sort of rotate the SKU. And if it's a flat edge, you know, you got to kind of adjust your angle a little bit when you rotate. But if it's a curved edge, it just kind of slices down. So as you get done truing and you want to start cutting, you just raise the tool handle up, and it just sort of curves right into spot. You find that sweet spot easier. It's a cool experience. It's a cool. I don't know that I'll change my pin SKU, the one I use for cutting pins. I don't think I'll change that one. But on larger turnings, it was kind of neat. It took me a few minutes to get used to it, but I like the way the tool handles. It's really amazing.
So the one you use on the pins is your Robert Storby, right?
That is correct. Yes. Okay. Pretty soon I'll be using the Penn State one.
Ooh.
I got notified Friday that my Penn State shipment went out. So this week I should have a full array of Penn State tools, and with some blanks and some kits. And I need to start planning a Penn State video, which will use as much Penn State tools as possible, right? I'll bring my old Penn State lathe back, my Turncrafter, put it on the tabletop, and almost probably about 95% of the stuff I use will be Penn State, because they want to obviously showcase their products, and that's what the video will be, is showcasing the Penn State kits, blanks, and products. And I'm really actually looking forward to it. I really am. You know, I learned about something cool this week, and we talk about products. Michael, you might be interested in this. Have you ever heard of a pen company called the Bullseye Turning Company?
No, I haven't.
It is owned and by a woman named Kate Harrow. I believe it's Harrow. I got to look her up. I learned about this from a fella on my Patreon Hangout, one of my patrons. she sells a pin that is closed-end cap and closed-end body. Okay, so you have to use a special manual to turn them, and literally when you put it together, you don't see the center band or anything. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but it's as close as you can come to kitless/bespoke pins without physically doing all the threading and all of that stuff. Okay?
Right.
And I just learned about her yesterday, and I've got a note here because later today I plan to go out and check her website out. I'm anxious to see what she's got. The pins that I saw, the pin that I saw that the gentleman had turned, it looked amazing, and there's some really cool things you can do, like you know, with your cap. You could make your cap a little longer to give it sort of the European style, where it goes over top of the pin and, you know, recedes over top of the pin a little bit. So I'm really excited about this. I mean, this is something new that someone is offering that is kind of a bridge between standard kit and kitless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking at our website now. That looks like an interesting kit. That's simple.
Yeah. So
not a lot to it.
Check it out. It looks super simple. It's called Bullseye Turning Company.
BullseyeTurningSupply.com.
Yeah. And I'm going to give them a look here later. I haven't actually been on the website, and I hate to do that because I'm using a laptop for the show tonight, and I don't want to take a chance at jumping into something or jumping out of something. So my laptop is hanging on by a thread, right?
You mean like a certain host did last week and ended up turning off his microphone?
Yeah, so I don't want to do that. But after the meeting, I'll go check them out. But I just learned about them yesterday, actually on my live, and that's one of the beauties of the live. And I got something else that's super cool too. That's one of the beauties of the live hangout is my patrons come in and it's an exchange, right? It's not just me doing all the talking like I'm doing now. It's the patrons are talking to me and they're telling me about the things they do, and I learned about that. But I also learned about something else. And Eddie Stipe, a buddy of mine, everybody always asks, how do you store your tubes? I'm sorry. How do you store your bushings? How do you store your bits? Last night, I'm watching it. Eddie gives me a shop tour of his shop. I found what I think is the perfect way to store pin bushings and bits. And I've got the information on it, and I am so excited. I'm going to totally rip him off. And I told him, this idea, it's a fantastic idea, and it's so simple, but I'm not going to actually tell what it is. I may tell you guys offline if you remind me after the show until I get the stuff and I actually do it, because I'll do a video on it. It is that cool. And that's that's what I love about those live hangouts is it's the exchange. It's not just me showing you how to turn a pin. It's you showing me how you turn a pin and how you do things in your shop. And I learn as much as my patrons do. And I absolutely love it. So I'll go ahead.
No, that just reminded me. My last demo, the pop boxes that I was doing.
Yes.
just having come back from Chicago where they have the Robert Sawyer jaws, and I've got my Nova jaws. The jaws that they have, which are the normal size, I think, were just slightly larger than my size, and I'm usually really good at eyeballing tenons. Every single freaking tenon that I tried to turn during my demo was just too big. Every single one. And I'm like, what am I doing? I even tried to quick do the tenon for the jam chuck for the lid later on, in our little break. Only 2 clubs that I've demoed for I've ever had a 5-minute break right in the middle, and this was one of them. And I was like, all right, awesome, I'll quick do this real quick. And as everyone's coming back, I was like, son of a gun, I did it again.
I've been worried about that for my demo, and that's one of the things that I told my wife, I think, if it wasn't a 2-day drive, I think I'd really like to drive to SWAT, because there's so many things I want. It's going to be a 150-pound box because I want to have my tools. You don't want, because you don't know what you're going to get, right?
Yeah.
So, but I wish I didn't have to drive. I mean, I wish it wasn't 2 days. I would drive, but
you could
I got to figure out how to get that stuff down there.
Ship your tools to to a certain host we know that lives in Texas.
That certain host won't be there on Friday, and I may have
that's
to
my
turn.
issue. Is that SWAT always ends up the first week where students are back. So that Friday, I can't skip because it'll end up being the first Friday that I would have had my students. And if I decide to take that day off, my class will be pandemonium when I come back.
Yeah. So I will find somebody, either the gentleman who invited me, Don Ward. I'll talk with him, or possibly Jim Hines. Jim Hines is going to be there. Lynn Lacey's going to be there, but I'm not sure. He won't be there all 3 days. I think he'll be there Friday and Saturday. But I'm going to find somebody that I can work with, and I can UPS. Notice I said UPS, not USPS, because I want to see my tools again. And we're going to UPS those tools down there, and that's the only way to do it. I just worry about, I worry about taking all those tools and putting them in a single. I'll insure it, but it's just, if something happens and I lose that box, I mean, that's, it took so long to accumulate all the garbage that I have. I just hate to lose it. But yeah, I'm going to take more stuff than I need because I want to have my gear, Mm-hmm. And I don't need it all. And Rebecca, you've done so many demos now. You probably got it down to a science. And the first one you did, I would imagine you probably drug the whole garage down.
I took
right?
everything. I took absolutely everything. I was like, why do I have this thing? There's no reason for it. And now that I go up to Chicago, the flights that I've been getting have been limited to only a carry-on.
Yes.
Or I can pay like an extra $70 to get a checked bag. And I'm like, I don't want to do that because it ends up being more money that he pays for me to come down there. And I was like, let me try to save him some money. So he sent me a list of all of the tools that they have on hand. And I get down there, there's everything I need there.
Yeah,
so chances are, even if you do forget something, like one of the other demonstrators will have it. Or if you get down there and you're like, hey, Rebecca, do you have this tool that I can borrow? I can just grab it Friday night and bring it with me.
And the beauty of that is, if I borrow something from you, I just won't give it back. I'll bring it with me and I can gain tools, right?
Everybody there knows all my stuff is covered in pink duct tape, so they will see you walking off with it. I will look so manly using a pink skew. Also, the SWAT guys, those are my buddies. They will tackle you.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine. So
they're great guys.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. But right now, I've got a table. Believe it or not, I've got a table of stuff that I'm already putting things on that I'm going to need. You see what I mean? Because I'm trying to, and I've got a list, right? And I'm trying to dial this in because first one, I have no idea. No idea.
Is there an opportunity that you could practice the demo, the one that you're going to do on?
Yes. I'm going to do that with my patrons. I've already told them that once I dial the demo in, we'll pick time, and I'm not going to record it. We're not going to record it. I'm just going to flat out do the demo for them because I expect there to be problems and issues, and we're going to work through them, and maybe we'll do a second one if they're interested. But I've been recording. I do the What You Doing Bob updates on the What You Doing channel, where it's just shop updates each time I work on my project, and I'm not going to discuss what it is on this channel because it's private. They know, and we're not telling. But I do updates on the Patreon channel, and they get to watch the updates as I'm starting to do this, and they'll learn about everything I do. The whole process they'll learn about, because it gives me a chance when you do it, then you kind of learn from yourself. And they're going to get to see the live demo and everything as we build it. So if you're interested in that, run over to Patreon, check out RJB Woodturner, and sign up. It's the VIP tier that gets all the goodies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I want to be a VIP.
Yeah, VIP. But it's a very important person, but it's fun, and they've been giving me some great feedback. And that's what I mean by people being invested. They want you to succeed, and they're doing everything they can to help me, and I love them for it. They're wonderful. So yeah,
are they listening right now?
We're gonna do a live demo. What'd you say? You need what? You need love?
I said, are they listening right now? Is that why you're being so nice about them?
You know
like,
what?
These guys are amazing.
Here's the thing. I don't know if they're listening or not, but the thing is, I would be willing to bet you they are, because it's like I said, they're the people who are invested in your success. They want to succeed with you. you know, and I would be willing to bet they are, but no, I love them. They're great.
See, if the truth comes out, there's nobody here for me, and there's nobody here for Rebecca. They're all here for Bob.
You want to know something, Michael? I would be willing to bet Rebecca probably has both of us snowed on the number of people who are here. I mean, think about it, Michael. Would you go to the channel for me, you, or Rebecca? Who would you watch for or listen for?
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
But
you
I
and I
don't
are
have
nobody.
a really nice beard.
I know. We're nobodies. I mean, you know.
Speaking of people being able to see what's going on, not actually speaking of it, but feeling my imaginary beard, you guys want to do another one of the Zoom live?
Yes.
Pretty soon? Because we did it right at the beginning of January. We could make it a once-a-month thing if our people are interested. It sounds like they are.
It sounds like they really are.
Well, seeing as I wasn't invited to the first one, sure.
Oh, you won't be invited to the second one either, Michael, so don't worry.
Damn it.
This is a private thing.
And after we actually promoted the video, our views went up quite a bit. They at least doubled from the 18 that we had.
You know, I'm checking it out right now. We're going to find out where we're at.
Are you?
Whoa. Whoops. We have 30 views.
What? Oh, they didn't double.
30 views. You know what? That actually is really good, though. I mean, because think about it. Think about it. I mean, when you do a video, like if you make something, people watch to learn. But for 30 people to watch, you know, just to see you guys talking, which I would bet most people probably dropped off before the show finished but I think the lives are fun. The recorded ones are fun when it's live and all those people are there. And I think it's fun because they can participate and pop questions into the chat. And I don't know. I just think that's fun. I like that.
I do too. I also like the added pressure.
The added pressure. I know. The added pressure. Just what you need in your life.
That's exactly what you need in your life. More pressure.
Yes.
We just pile it on. So, what would you do for a topic if you did a live? And you know what? Let's throw that out, guys and ladies who are listening. We're thinking about doing another YouTube or another Zoom live recording of the show. Why don't you guys send us your suggestions for topics for that? It's going to be for you. So let us know what you would like to see and participate in. And we'll see if we can't pick a hot topic off there, and maybe we'll get a couple of good ones, and we can use those for future episodes.
Proper methods to stalk Bob Blanford.
Dude, nobody wants to waste their time.
Hey, I got called out on my stalker skills today. I want you to know.
Today?
Somebody has put me in second place as far as stalking is concerned.
Who's first place?
First place would belong to Mark DeBacca.
Okay. Yes. Dude. First place would be Mark DeBacca. You are absolutely right. He is the greatest stalker in the world.
He offered to send me some hair that he got off of your pillow when you two roomed together.
Oh my God! I used to tease him. I said something one time about it was Mark and I roomed together at Mid Ohio Valley, and I told everybody, I said, "Dude, I woke up and he was like sitting there staring at me. You awake? You awake?" He's a great guy, man. He's a lot of fun, but
yes, he is.
To pick on him. Who told you he was the best stalker?
He did.
He did. Oh.
So he's self-proclaimed best stalker.
Oh, he was calling me out. He's saying that my stalker skills were weak.
You need to step up your stalker game.
Exactly. That's what he was saying. You got to step it up.
There you go.
These are rookie numbers. You got to pump those numbers up.
Yeah. No, Mark's a fun guy. Oh man, that's funny. That's funny.
Oh, just wait. Someday you'll have your own stalker, Rebecca.
I don't want my own stalker.
I'm worried about the Mid Ohio Valley Pin Turner Gathering this year.
Why are you worried about it?
Because it is the second week of September, and the last weekend of August, I'll be at SWAT. And I don't know how I'm going to afford 2 shows because, I've got airline, I've got rental car, I've got hotel down in Texas for 4 days. And I do not know how I'm going to swing the show. And I really, 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 really want to be at Mid-Ohio Valley because I love that show, man. That's like the best show.
Well, you can probably catch a ride with me because I'm planning on going. Okay, and I'm sure Mark would be more than happy to put you up in a hotel room for free.
No, I can't do that, man. The cost is too high. It's like going out on a date and he buys me dinner. He expects something in return. I can't do that. I hope he listens to the show.
Oh, he does. He does.
No, but that's my biggest concern is, can I put together enough money between now and then to be able to do both shows, and can I get off work that close to the 2 long weekends in a row? Mm-hmm. Because that's my favorite show. I've been to a number of them, and I actually love that show. That's like one of the best.
I would agree. Although I've only been to that one, so my opinion is kind of biased. But
yeah, so we'll have to hit some more. They've yeah. I got to plan better. So everybody go out and start watching my videos. I got to get my CPM up so I can make enough money to go to the show. Just put them on replay and just let them keep playing and playing and playing all night on your computer, and let those commercials play all the way through too. So I get the big CPM numbers. I might make $0.015 a view instead of a penny.
Oh, nice. So are we going to talk about our topic tonight?
Oh, we have a topic?
I guess so. I thought it was stalking was our topic.
Oh, well, it is now.
Well, what is the topic for this evening?
Bob, you want to explain?
Okay. You know what? Let me look because I've made. Okay, the topic is keep it or toss it and start over.
Yeah.
Keep it. That's it, everybody. Thanks.
Okay, Michael. No. That's a legitimate answer, Michael. And since you said that, why don't you go ahead and explain your position?
Well, early on in my turning, when I would make a mistake, I would say, well, okay, chuck it, move on to the next one. But the mistakes provide you an opportunity to learn how to correct them or find a good way to cover them up. Like the next time you turn a bowl into a funnel, maybe use that as an opportunity to learn how to glue 2 pieces together and turn them into a single piece. Mm-hmm. That's probably where I could have learned a lot, because I made a lot of funnels. And I was just, pitched them. But had I taken the opportunity to try and learn from that mistake, I think I would be farther along in my turning.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Or my prep skills, or learning not to do what I did.
Yeah, no, I agree with you 100%. And I'm a strong proponent of keep it. Mm-hmm. Keep it and try to fix it because it's already screwed up. So basically, it's already worthless. Can you make it any more worthless? No. But perhaps you might learn something, and I've had a couple of fixes that I think actually made the, in my case, pin better than it would have been initially. And someone actually, what made me think of this topic was the other day, I put my video out, and someone replied and said, "Hey, it's great to see you back, the king of repairs." And I guess that's a good thing because I'm good at repairing things, but then it may be kind of a bad thing because I'm repairing a lot of things. Maybe
that was just your troll.
No. It was a good, legitimate viewer, and I really appreciate the comment. I just threw the spin on it, but there's a chance to learn a new technique or something. I have one that I was turning today that messed up, and the other day I accidentally found a way to make brass shavings. And I've got a blank today, which a guy took these little curly cues that came off of a lathe of brass and cast them into blocks. And then he cut those blocks up into small pieces and dropped, like, there's red, blue, and purple. And he dropped them into a mold and molded them with black polyester resin, which, God, I hate polyester resin. I'll never turn another polyester resin blank, right? Because it's polyester resin, there's no pressure pot. And because there was no heat used, there are little air bubbles in the blank. So what I did, and I won't tell how on the podcast, you'll have to watch the video to see, but this accident that happened in the shop, I showed that accident. I showed how I can make brass filings or brass shavings, and I'm going to use those. I made them today, and I'll use them next trip to the shop to repair that blank. And there's always something to learn. You just don't throw the pin away because you screwed something up. We've all made a mistake. Try to fix it. What have you got to lose? And chances are you're going to learn something and end up better off for it in the long run. Maybe something that you can do intentionally on the next blank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could accidentally stumble upon your signature piece.
I think I have.
A pen. Mm. Imagine that.
Well, no, not really. I mean, there are things I consider to be my signature piece that were just happy accidents. Mm. Like my chaos blank. The very first one I did, and I found a way to refine it, I just glued together all my cutoffs, which took friggin' forever. Must have been 5,000 cutoffs, right?
Oh my God.
And now I just use whole blanks and cut them up. But it's happy accidents, right? So I'm a firm believer, like Michael. Keep it. I don't toss it until it's really met the end of its life.
I think that's kind of ingrained to any woodworker anyway.
Yeah.
Keep everything. Yeah. Keep your scrap. You never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah, we also kind of forget sometimes that wood grows on trees.
True. But if you don't have to cut down more trees because you have what you need already.
Yeah. And I have the problem too that even if I do blow something up or break something or it doesn't turn out exactly how I want it, I can use the smallest piece and make something new out of it. And it's ridiculous. It's turning me into a terrible wood hoarder, but I blame my dad. I get it from him. But you can make something really awesome out of that 1 inch by 1 inch thing.
Cast it in resin. Who knows?
Yeah.
You can, but you have to remember to use it. That's the problem is you keep it, and I have little bins full of mess ups. I'm going to fix that one of these days. But you have to remember to go to that bin and get them out and fix them. Mm-hmm. So it's better just to try right there on the spot.
Mm. Yeah, I have a good example. I have this piece that I've referenced it before. It's my black and gold leafed thing that I've been working on for about 4 years. Mm-hmm. And I screwed up part of it. I think it's because I dropped it and the edge was too thin. So I remade that part and then stuck both of them back in the bucket because I'm like, I could probably fix the one that I broke or use it for something else that's not this specific piece. So that's in the bucket with the rest of the pile. And then there's another part of the project that I know I did it wrong, but I'm keeping it in there so that I remember what it's supposed to look like, sort of, for the next time. And I'm thinking, I can do something with this. It might not be exactly what I planned on originally, but it can definitely be modified to be something else. Mm-hmm. And who knows? It might never turn into anything, but at least I'm not going to regret later on throwing it away and realizing oh yeah, I could have done something with that. Mm-hmm. And who knows? But I find you guys said that you didn't used to save your screw ups or
I've always saved mine.
Learning opportunities, but
I
saved mine. I've still got a pile of stuff from when I was in college learning how to turn. I've got a couple funnels that I kept for whatever reason. I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this, but I kept it maybe as just looking back at it and be like, don't do that again.
Yeah. I always kept mine too until this past summer. This past summer I was cleaning out the shop and I had all of these blanks that I messed up years and years ago. And must have been 200 of them total, right? I mean, just screw ups, right? Mm-hmm. Stuff that you wouldn't fix because a lot of it was like cedar and just lesser woods that you wouldn't really, wasn't really a blank you were invested in. And I had a bonfire in the backyard in our fire pit, and I dumped them all in there with a bunch of other scraps of wood. And after the bonfire, I went and picked all the tubes out, threw them all away. I didn't keep the tubes, but like I said, there were probably 200 tubes in the ash. And the rain came down and washed the ash away, and you could see all the tubes. But there was no reason to keep them. I just got rid of them, because sooner or later, I got to realize something, right? None of my kids are really into what I'm into. So when I die, and that's going to happen one of these days, they're not going to want to have to clean all this crap out. So I need to start getting rid of stuff if I'm not using it or if I'm just hanging on to it. Let it go. If you have a block of wood that you've been hanging on to and you haven't used it, pass it to somebody else or get rid of it. If you happen to need a block of wood, it grows on trees, you can go out and buy another block of wood. Yes, it's can be a little pricey, but it's not something that's out of your reach. It's not like it's thousands of dollars, $20 or whatever. Go ahead and I'm trying to do more of that. I'm trying to relieve myself of all of these things that I don't want my kids to have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's an example? Go ahead.
No,
go ahead, Rebecca. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, every once in a while, I'll just if I don't know that anybody that I know is actually going to want these things, I'll just put it in a bag, like a grocery bag, on the end of my driveway and put a little sign on it that says free wood scraps or free whatever it is. Or every once in a while, my neighbor wants, not the scraps necessarily, well, they do, because they've got those 2 little boys that live right next door, and they love gluing them together into little cars and airplanes and stuff, and it's adorable. So I'll save them all my bigger scraps. But they like my tools too, but I can put rolls of tape that I don't need anymore, like masking tape that maybe isn't the quality that I want to use, but what am I going to do with it? So I'll put it out on the curb in just 10 minutes and it's gone. You want
to hear a funny story about that? And it's sort of related. When we were moving, and this is 3 or 4 houses ago, I forget, I had a number of fish tanks. It was 3 fish tanks that were probably 20 gallon, and I had 2 paper boxes, like the 20-pound paper, the big boxes, full of supplies. And I put them out on the sidewalk, and I put a sign on that said free, and they sit there for 2 days. So I walked out there, and I changed the sign, and I said, for sale, $15. A half an hour later, it was gone. Somebody stole it. So that's not a joke. That's true. So put a price on it, and somebody will swipe it. You really get rid of it that way.
That's a great idea, because I've got a 55-gallon that I need to get rid of. It's taking up too much space. It's the one my turtle used to be in. Rest in peace, Squirt. He was a big part of my life for 19 years. And when I was in college, I made him this aquarium stand. And now it's just this good quality, oak aquarium stand. And now, what am I supposed to do with it? I don't ever want to have anything in an aquarium again. It's too much maintenance, and it makes me sad thinking about it. So I've offered it to neighbors, and they're like, maybe, I don't know. And I've offered it to friends, and they're like, well, I don't know. Let me look at it first, and I'll send them a picture. And then I never hear anything back. So I'm like, I just need to get rid of it.
Yeah. Bring it up to Indiana. I'll take it off your hands.
I'll get right on that.
So I actually had a question, sort of topic related. Now, I think all 3 of us are kind of in agreement to keep it, try to fix it or keep it. What would be an example of a time when you would toss it? Like I talked about my pens. What about you guys? I mean, I'm surely eventually there's something you've got to let go.
If it's turned too thin and that's the reason it breaks, then I would toss it.
Okay, Michael.
Well, there have been times I've been drilling this Simstone blank and overheated it and just shattered it.
Ooh, so you can't really put it back together.
Yeah, there was no saving that.
The bad thing is, not the bad thing, the good thing is you are a caster, so if it was really cool, you could actually come up with some way to do something with it if you wanted to. But who wants to cast everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I get a lot of people that'll say, hey, cast those metal shavings, or hey, cast this. And it's kind of like, yeah, that's an okay idea, but, there's a lot more to it than just casting it, right? I mean, it's expensive, you know. I've actually got a pin. Oh, go ahead, Michael.
I've actually even, I do custom size castings for label casting, which means I cut my own tubes on some of them because of the specific lengths that are needed. I even keep the little cutoffs from the brass tubes.
You do?
Yeah, and I've been thinking about casting those.
Ooh, do a mosaic pin like they have in Forged in Fire every once in a while. Do those.
I have a video where I did that, Michael. I took blanks that didn't work out, and I drilled holes through another blank and inserted them in that blank, and then filled the centers with dowels and turned them. It was amazing.
Yeah.
The other thing is, watch my video coming up. You may be able to use those for brass filings.
Hey.
Hint, hint. You'll be glad you kept them.
Now I just need to get my metal lathe up and running.
Yes.
No, you don't even need the metal lathe.
Oh.
I don't want to let too much. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. We're gonna hang.
Did you use your skew?
I'm not going to tell you. No. I will say that. But I've got a pin right now that I damaged it when I was turning it, and I fixed it. And I damaged it again, and I fixed it. And I damaged it again today, and I fixed it. Now, it needs a finish. Okay? If I have one more problem with it, it's gone. Because I bet I have 6 hours in this pin, and it's going to be okay. It's not going to be great. It's not something somebody's going to say, "Oh, wow, I got to have it." They're and then I had a disappointment today, and I'm not going to say the company name, and I'm going to pitch it. I bought a blank, and I paid $35 for the blank, and I turned it today. Right? You can see the freaking tube when you turn it. Aggravating, right? Aggravating because the resin wasn't pigmented dark enough, or the tube wasn't painted, and you can see the glue in there. And it's like, oh.
So they had already glued the tube in.
They actually built the blank on the tube. And I'm not going to say any names. So, yeah, that was really disappointing. So things like that make me want to kind of throw it away, too. Because I was sitting there thinking as I'm turning it, man, the blank is incredible. And I'm thinking, okay, $35 for the blank. It's $15 for the pin. I mean, I'm already in this thing $50, right, for the kit. I'm going to have to ask. I'm not going to be able to get a fortune for it. I'm going to have to ask a good price if I decide to sell it. Or my thought was, it has a certain tie back to someone else in a roundabout way, and my thought was auction it off to help this person. And then it turned out like that, and it was just all of these ideas I had just went, they just sunk, and it was really depressing at that point because I had so many positive thoughts and ideas, and it actually turned well. I hate to say it, but I'm getting very comfortable with the skew, right? Mm-hmm. And it actually turned like a champ. And then just to get kicked in the gut like that, it was a gut punch. So,
you talking about an auction reminded me. Hopefully, by the time this podcast comes out, he'll be out of the hospital. But a friend of Bob's and mine was in a car wreck on the 28th and has been in the hospital since. His name is Ernie Baraga. He's well known in the pen turning community. He has had some complications. They did have to revive him once. So, but from what I hear, he's doing better today. But it is kind of a day-by-day thing. So, hopefully...
Do you know, is anybody doing an auction for him to help with the medical bills?
I have seen a few in the pen groups on Facebook. I'm not sure how many there are, or how big his need is. I'm not sure what his insurance situation is like. But any thoughts or prayers or positive vibes, karma, whatever you want to throw his way would be appreciated. And now that I've brought the podcast down,
Yeah, thanks a lot, Michael.
Yeah,
Like
we're going
I
to end
said-
it on a bummer today.
You know, Rebecca, I'm voting him out for the live. He's too much of a downer.
I'll just be the mediator.
Ultimate book of useless information. Are you going to read us? This could be a weekly feature of the show. Is you could give us some useless information. Let us have a nugget of uselessness.
So let's
The
bring
Nugget
us
of Useless-
back
that's
up.
Perfect title for this segment. Nugget of Uselessness.
Oh, what did I call
Oh,
it?
that there's
I
the
just called
title
it-
for
I
the
called it a
episode.
piece of useless information. Oh no, I lost my page. Wait, no, I didn't.
Useless nuggets.
Scraps of information. Cutoffs of information. Okay.
Yeah?
This one has a couple to do with famous people. So Sylvester Stallone used to sweep the lion cages in New York City Central Park Zoo to pay his way while training to break into acting. And this is woodworking related. Sean Connery once worked as a coffin polisher.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Yeah, it is, right?
I find that more interesting than the Sylvester Stallone comment.
Well, that's why I ended with that one. Also, because
Thank
I
you.
found it after I read the other one.
Thank you. So that was another episode of Nuggets of Uselessness. Join us next week
Yep.
for another riveting
title
nugget
still
of
pending.
uselessness. Okay, we're going to work on that. Suggestions for titles, people. Send them in.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool.
So many possibilities.
I know.
Oh no.
So,
You ready to wrap it up, Michael?
Yeah, let's have some dad jokes.
All right.
I have 3.
Why don't you go first? I only have one this week, and then I'll pepper mine in there somewhere.
Okay, and they're both from listeners. So let's start.
Both?
With Kyle.
We have 3 and they're
all
both
3.
from listeners.
Sorry, both sets of jokes are from listeners because I only got 2 listeners that sent them in. Let me learn how to math real quick. Guys, you know I'm an art teacher, not a math teacher.
Oh, my God.
Also, my brain is fried. All right. A 9-year-old girl disappeared after using face cream that makes you look 10 years younger. That one's from Kyle Foot, who actually messaged me and thanked me for the shout outs. Because, I mean, if you're going to send me a dad joke, you're going to get a shout out if it's a good enough dad joke to be featured on the show. Which, some of them, honestly, I've gotten a few that I didn't really get it. And I was like, maybe it's because I'm not a dad. I don't know. All right, and the other one from Kyle Foot is, and I might have said this one, or one of you guys might have, if you teach a wolf to meditate, they become an aware wolf.
And a werewolf. That's a good one.
All right, I've got one more, but one of you guys go first.
Michael?
What's the difference between a dirty bus stop and a lobster with big boobs? One is a crusty bus station.
Oh, that's terrible.
That's compliments of Mark Tobacco.
Okay.
Thank you, Mark.
I've got one here. What's brown and sticky? A stick.
So I didn't know where you were going with that one, but my follow-up joke lines up perfectly.
You're welcome for the setup.
Right? A dung beetle walks into a bar and asks, "Is this stool taken?"
Aw.
These jokes are getting really bad.
That one's from Tim Wadley.
Oh, that's good. Any more?
I think that's it.
That's
All
it.
right.
Bring it home, Bob.
Hey, what did the DJ name his son? Eric? Okay, bring it home.
You've told that one before.
You
But I
have.
couldn't remember if I told it on the podcast or if I told it in the pre-show.
I think you told it on the podcast, because even then we were talking about how it has to be live, how you do that joke.
All right. Well,
yeah, you got to do that on the live cast.
Yeah.
This week on You Made That, Deja Vu. It's a new series. We're going to do it weekly. Deja Vu. We're going to repeat ourselves.
Or
okay.
Or Vujade. The strange feeling that none of this ever happened before.
Yeah, I like that one better. Okay. I can be found on YouTube at RJB Woodturner. The same for Instagram. Or you can check out my shop vlog channel at What You Doin' Bob. Or join me on Patreon at RJB Woodturner.
You can find me Facebook and YouTube as Rebecca De Groot, Instagram Rebecca_De Groot, website RebeccaDeGroot.com, Etsy Rebecca De Groot Studio, no spaces, Redbubble Rebecca De Groot Studio with spaces.
You know what? I think I'm just going to take that little bit of clip and speed it up to chipmunk speed.
Chipmunk speed, yes.
You know what would be even better than that? When Rebecca does the weekly segment, Nugget of Uselessness, speed that up to chipmunk speed since there's a squirrel on the front of the book.
I love it. Yes, that's it.
Once in a while, I have a good idea. Very, very, very infrequently, though.
Oh, and as far as me, you can find me at Lost River Pens on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LostRiverPens.com.
And you can find the podcast on YouTube now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe bring up our 30 views. Total.
31.
Ooh.
Well, listen, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us this week on the episode of You Made That. You guys have a great week. We'll talk to you again next Sunday. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Arrivederci.